Hey guys, Mom Running Kid here coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Um, I'm here to review this week's episode of, give my thoughts on this week's episode of ThunderCats, episode 23, entitled Recipe for Disaster. Okay, now unlike the episode 22 entitled The Forever Bag, which is pretty much another filler episode which focused more on the Thunder Kittens, which was okay, but it was like you go from a hardcore episode with, sort of plunder, and then you go to what's going on with the kittens. I was a little bit iffy about that one. But this one is actually, this kind of paid a little homage to a certain character in this episode, which I'm going to get into later. But Recipe of a Disaster had a mixture of comedy and action, which I like. A good decent blend, in my opinion, of it. And that was always the good about it. This episode was really because we are introduced to the Wolos finally. The Wolos are finally introduced in this episode, and we get to see one of them. The cats meet a Wolo known as Ponzil. That's his name. And he's like this traveling salesman, but he's kind of like a scam artist in a way, because all the stuff happens. Whatever the remedy he makes up for people, it doesn't come true. Like different, like effects with the potion or so. Like they showed it. Like one time, one of the women Wolos is like, you said this was good for my child. She would get this kind of cheeks, but she got like a pink beard, and I thought that was kind of funny. So, and other than that, he rides like a giant caterpillar named Lucy, and she drives around. So that was kind of funny, which was also good. But in the meantime, the cats are still suffering from losing the sort of plunder to Mumra, and Mumra's watching them. And Mumra, he basically resurrects an ancient creature to use as a new body for himself. So we kind of see Mumra actually using his sorcery and stuff to change himself into a new body, like he did in the classic series as well. And I thought that was really cool. This creature that he turns himself into, he goes around. It's like a giant bone-like dinosaur in a way. Like it's on the top of his head, like the back. You got the scales, bone scales, in the top of it, and then his face is covered like with bone. And he goes on to attack the ThunderCats, and the cats are just really they can't really do anything about it, which was really cool as well, And it wasn't until when Mumra captured Lionel, he actually dropped a potion that Ponzi gave him, and it actually subdued Mumra for a while so they can escape. That was got it kind of interesting too. Like all those crappy potions that Ponzi had before, it works on Mumra. What also was cool about this, they actually paid homage to the original series. Remember in the opening where Mumra's shooting his energy blast at Lionel, and Lionel flips, and then he uses the Sword of Omens. They kind of paid homage to that, and they even started to play like a rocked remix of the classic theme, which is really cool. I thought I geeked out for that. That was really good. I'm glad they're keeping Palmyra around, because I know a lot of people was like really getting tired of Chitara, like, and we kind of see that Lionel has feelings for her, and he's trying everything just to try to get her to notice him, and not just as her king, but in that kind of affection. So that was kind of fun too. What really impressed me, what really I got a kick out of this episode was at the end of the episode when they they needed Ponzi to make some more of that formula, and they bought Ponzi some time. Um, and unfortunately, Ponzi's caterpillar, known as Lucy, she ate up all these leaves that he needed to use to make the potion, and he kind of yelled at her, so she went up into a tree, and unfortunately there she was wrapped herself in a cocoon, like she's about to go through a metamorphosis, as a butterfly. And it was kind of funny because when Mumra started to come out, and when she came back, all I saw was Mothra versus Godzilla, and I was like, no, they didn't just do this. I was like, oh my god, like it just, I was like, oh my god, Lucy is Mothra. Mumra's body, the form he was in, was supposed to be Godzilla, and even when Lionel did get some he did get some because Pumara did kiss him after he saved her life when Mumra was gonna eat her. He saved her life, and she said, I noticed you doing that, and I was like, okay, that was all right. The funniest thing also was that Tiger had drank the love potion that Lionel was supposed to give to Pumira, and he was all acting all weird and stuff. He was acting all weird, and he was like, there was one scene I really liked where he was like, he was talking to Mumra. He's like, look, let's not fight, let's be friends or something. And Mumra just punched the crap out of him, and he just went flying. And I thought that was so funny to me. Like I said, this was a really good blend of comedy and action at the same time. It didn't make Mumra look weak. It didn't make anybody look really weak. It just was really fun. It was just a fun episode that I really enjoyed. And then when Lucy came around as her butterfly form and stopped Mumra, she was the one that really stopped Mumra. She encased him in like this crystal like substance, and it forced that's how she was able to defeat, and it kind of forced Mumra to you know get out of that body. So and then he basically, the typical villain, I'll get you next time, things like that. But yeah, it was fun. But like I said, it paid homage to Mothra and Godzilla in this episode. It was really fun. That there was moments like that really geeked me out. But I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I enjoyed it much more than episode 22. As you know, I didn't even talk about episode 22 last week. But this one, Recipe for Disaster, was really fun. Next episode is entitled The Soul Sever. And then the next two episodes, and then after that, 25 and 26 are as a two-parter for the season finales. What Lies Above Part 1 and What Lies Above Part 2. But other than that, you guys, I gave you my thoughts on this episode. You guys tell me what you thought about this episode. As always, you know me, guys. I love input. Hit me with your best shot. Other than that, y'all take care, and on to the next.